All right, boys, here we go. We'll talk about the young Dolph trial and assassination today. Been watching the trial here the last couple of days, and it took Tennessee 4 short days to convict and sentence Justin Johnson, better known as Straight Drop.
Had either you called him or he called you or anything like this?
He called me first time I used to call him. Then he called me back. I answered. He telling me basically they were pulling up because we already knew what was going on.
When you say you already knew what was going on, you already knew what this was about?
Yeah, because we knew they were doing the turkey drive, so we was actually on our way to Westwood.
Had you and Justin talked about this particular day before?
Like, nah, not the specific day. Like, we just knew that it was turkey drive going every day that week.
Okay. You knew that, the fair said you knew Dolph was involved in these turkey drives this week before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we didn't know we were going to catch him, but we knew he did his artist. You know, everybody had a hit on him. Everybody had personal needs.
From Jook?
Yeah, from Jook.
It was November 17th, 2021. And Dolph had been, I guess, working on handing out turkeys to the community and stuff. He was known to be out in the area with PRE. And apparently, this guy, Hernandez Govan, had contacted Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith. And Cornelius Smith, I guess, is just supposedly like, you know, a dude that used to go to Govan to get drugs, and, you know, he was a drug addict. Now, Straight Drop, Justin Johnson, I guess, was going to Govan, and Govan was hooked in with CMG, and he had somehow been involved with another rapper that got I guess signed, and he didn't get nothing out of it, so he was trying to facilitate getting Justin Johnson to deal with CMG. Now, apparently there was some meeting with CMG's second in command or whatever, Yo Gotti's brother Jook. Now, apparently at this meeting, you know, to hear someone tell it was just all about, you know, trying to get a music deal and stuff, but I don't understand why dude would be there. The Cornelius Smith dude would be there, right? So they've come to the conclusion that Jook, the second in command at CMG or whatever, Yo Gotti's brother, supposedly, well, I mean, at the trial, the prosecutor claimed that he was going to pay them $100,000, and Justin Johnson was going to get a record deal, you know, with CMG. But I don't know, they didn't really use the CMG that much, you know what I mean? They pretty much just talked about Jook. So I don't know if that's like, you know, some kind of like legal thing that they couldn't do or whatever, but they talked more about just being Jook, getting him a record deal, I guess, with CMG, which they kept calling Cocaine Mafia. Which is supposed to be collective music group. But anyway, the prosecution basically was saying that he's going to pay them both. And these two dudes, they was out one day when they knew that they was giving out these turkeys and stuff, and they're looking for them. Anybody from PRE, which is Dolph's, you know, record label. Well, according to them, they just happen to pull up to the stop, and they look over and they see Dolph's 2001 Corvette, which is wrapped in a camo that's like pretty distinctive. Young Dolph had like all his trucks wrapped in the same wrap. He did a music video called Major that had a whole bunch of vehicles in it that were wrapped like that. It's like a white, green, and brown wrap. So as soon as they seen the 2001 Corvette with the wrap on it, they knew, hey, that's Dolph right there, right? So they pull up on the cookie store, which, you know, I don't think we really need to bring up what the name of the cookie store is, but he had went to a cookie store. I guess he was on his way home, and or his grandma's, and he was gonna pick up cookies on the way back, right? Because apparently he loved them cookies. There was a social media post by the cookie store one day.
Say you came to get some what? All I came for to get some Makita cook. Get the side. Come back around there.
Yes, these right here.
What you got? Chocolate chip. Them hot.
Straight out the oven.
Just for you. Appreciate you.
Not that day, but, you know, I guess a couple months before that, where they kind of cornered Dolph at the truck and asked him, hey, you love these cookies or whatever? And he's basically like saying, yeah, I love these cookies, like come here for your cookies or whatever. And then he gets in his truck and, you know, goes on. Well, like they were saying, even in the post, they were like, man, this is a bad thing to do, because now people knew that he frequented that area, you know what I mean? But to hear them telling it, they were just out in that area and they ended up seeing him. Well, they pull up, like, basically Dolph pulls into the cookie store. 30 seconds later, they pull up behind, jump out.
What y'all did?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to the light, made a loop around.
Did you see him get out of his car like this?
Nah, I ain't seen him get out the car.
Okay.
One dude, Cornelius Smith, has a Draco, which shoots a 7.62 round, and
Say y'all?
Yeah, that's us right there.
Stop.
Justin Johnson's got a handgun. I think it was a Glock 40.
All right, who's the second person here that got out of the driver's side?
It just,
He's got the smaller handgun, is that right?
Well, the thing is, right, when Justin Johnson jumps out, he's got the exact same clothes on he's had on since yesterday. Because they have him at the apartment, coming out of his apartment, wearing the same hat, the same shirt, the same sweatpants, the same shoes as the shooter.
Pull into the parking garage. Then you see a man on the elevator wearing a Bass Pro hat, gray sweatpants. Prosecutors say that's Johnson. A series of videos spanning several hours, counting down to Dolph's death, is shown, showing Johnson coming and going from the building in the same hour.
Cornelius Smith definitely helped him out by coming to, I guess, you know, he said that, you know, he was feeling bad about it and he wanted to tell the truth, you know. But then again, also,
yeah, once I came to my senses and Justin had wrote me a kite.
like I said, Joke had said that he was gonna pay him $100,000. Well, they were supposed to get 40 grand and some pills and stuff, right?
It caused you to take up some old habits.
Yes, sir. I went back to popping pills and not caring about nothing.
Before 2020.
So they jump out, they run up on dude. Dude shoots him up. He acts like he ain't never held a gun before. You
That's your gap hoodie, is that right?
know what I mean? And then Justin Johnson puts a couple in him while Dolph is on the ground already. Now,
All right. First guy out of the car, who's that?
That's me.
That's you? Which one of the guns do you have?
I got the little Draco still going.
Okay, that's that semi-automatic weapon, is that right?
Yeah.
You ever shot that thing before?
Nah, I know something. I know.
Okay. You can proceed, artist. That's your gap hoodie, is that right?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you who you're shooting at?
No, don't.
All right, now back it up again, Miss Iris, if you would. Back it up for Justin getting out of the car. All right, who's the second person here that got out of the driver's side?
It just,
He's got the smaller handgun, is that right?
yeah, bad baseball hat. Bad pro baseball hat.
You're firing this crazy thing. What you see? What are you feeling?
I wouldn't feel nothing at the time, but I ain't gonna let it.
this time Marcus is coming out the door, and Marcus returning fire through the door at them and hits Cornelius Smith in the shoulder.
All right, now back it up again, Miss Iris, if you would.
And then they scurry on back to the car, and they head over, immediately calling, you know, trying to get money, trying to get hid, all this stuff, and help because dude's hit, right? So they go back to Justin Johnson's cousin's house. So they got him.
Two men outside. Go ahead. Go ahead. Were you interested in those two men?
Yes, I was.
Tell me why you're interested in those two men.
In the clothing that they have on, you see the dark sweatshirt, the gray hoodie. The black hoodie with gray sweatpants, shoes, matching the description of the suspects that were at Makita's cookies.
On tape coming back after the shooting in the car. They go park the car over, you know, they switched out the car. Justin Johnson drives also an Explorer, right?
What kind of car is that right there?
And that's the white Ford Expedition.
So they go and drop the car off right in front of Govan's house, right? There's another house that's abandoned across the street.
Side there, you can see back in the wooded area, the tree line. That's where they parked the. That's where we located the white Mercedes-Benz. That's on Bradley.
I can see some homicide Texas walking back here.
Yes. Yeah.
So they park it right across the street from Govan's house, where it's found. With
Vacant abandoned house, is that correct?
That's a vacant. Yes, it is.
We go across the street. I got Hernandez Govan's house.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Directly across.
the fingerprints on it and shit from Cornelius Smith, which they had wiped it down a couple times. Well, he called him and he's like, "Oh, you gotta come move this motherfucker." So they moved it around a couple times, I guess, but yeah, and these dudes just silly, man. Like, they didn't really know what was going on. One dude's strung out and the other dude's like thinking he's getting a payday, you know what I mean? And taking contract kill when you're not a contract killer is kind of like a dumb thing to do anyway. But so the car they're riding around in too has also been carjacked, you know what I mean? It's a stolen vehicle that has a scratch down the side of it and damage to the back. So
They're going down the passenger side of the vehicle, especially on the rear side panel.
So is it fair to say when you see this, you know that you've got your car?
Yes.
Do y'all investigate, like, where'd this car come from?
Yes, we would check the VIN or license plate.
Did y'all in fact find that the car was taken in a carjacking in Memphis a few weeks before this crime?
We did.
Did y'all in fact find that the suspect in that carjacking was Treon Ingram?
Correct.
And I'll say it here that Justin Johnson was not a suspect in that carjacking.
No.
much like, you know, catch them on video exchanging this car. What happened too is they ended up tracking down the car and the guy that might have done the carjacking. Well, at this guess they go looking on the videotape at this gas station. They see him switching the cars up the night before. They go out looking for him, right? Because they're looking to get anybody. I think they're not looking just to get Dolph. They're looking to hit anybody with PRE or whatever. You know, everybody's got a price on their head. Is basically what he said.
He drives this week before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we know we were gonna catch him, but we knew his artist. You know, everybody had a price on his.
From Joke.
Now, there's cameras everywhere. There's no way you're gonna get out of this, right? Like, they have Justin Johnson in the same clothes on all these cameras. So, and they have his co-defendant, the other shooter, basically mapping everything out for him. You know, telling him exactly what happened. So in 4 short days, Tennessee tries, convicts, and sentences Justin Johnson to life in prison.
We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1 of the indictment. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in count 2 of the indictment. And we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of convicted felon in possession of a firearm as charged in count 3 of the indictment.
Thank you. The jury having found you guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and convicted felon in possession of a firearm. As the 13th juror, I affirm this verdict. As to the first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison.
Now, of course, he probably got dealed. Cornelius Smith probably got a deal, but he also got paid $800, like, out of the money that was supposed to be paid. And he kept trying to get a hold of him. Well,
They ain't had any more money on me. Ain't had any more
You don't
money.
have money, you gotta come back.
Yeah, I gotta come back.
And you come back, you pick up that money from the old woman?
Yeah, I picked up the money from her, and I saw how much it was. I'm like, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like, $500.
You could spend that on pills in one day up there.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, I can pay it.
What'd you do with the letter?
I flushed down the toilet at the hotel room.
All right, is that the only time you got any money from Justin?
Now, a couple days later, I was in the city or whatever, and he was saying that he was gonna have his folks pull up on me, bring me some money or whatever, hold me down. So I'm thinking he been pulled up about 20, 30,000 leave, you know what I'm saying? But I had my girl to get out the car, and she met the person that was driving on the street or whatever. I had her to have her face mask on, and she said they had their face masks on, so we don't know who it was, but they got her $300.
$300.
You know?
Okay. And this is from Justin's folks.
Yeah, this was just folks.
All right, so now we've been paid about $800.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there any other payment coming?
All the payment stopped then.
All the payments.
Everything stopped.
Is there any time that you or your girlfriend or anybody received a large payment?
Nah.
I guess the lawyer that Straight Drop had was $60,000 supposedly. So was that the payment for, you know, who knows, right? CMG supposedly paid for the lawyer though. Now, Cornelius Smith's first lawyer was a CMG lawyer that was paid for, and he said the dude was trying to kill him down the car and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so they pretty much smoked Straight Drop's boots, man. Like, it wasn't but 4 days. They presented all the evidence, convicted, and sentenced. You dig? Life sentence, dog. And, you know, you can't really think of no other way that should have went down, man. Them guys were goofy, man. As soon as they leave the spot, they start calling everybody. They start trying to get paid. They start trying to get, like, all this stuff to get out of town, which they did, man. It was a good while before they caught up to them, man. It was a good while before they started figuring everything out. But there's a couple little things that were kind of weird, too, that's around the same time, because at the exact same time in the background, you know, Dolph was tied into a lot of music around Memphis, and Trula Mafia had a guy named J Money. Well, apparently when J Money met his demise, that group in Memphis split, and it was RR and or Double R and Trula Mafia. Well, D Money, which was J Money's brother, ended up meeting his demise. Apparently, word on the street is this guy Big Unk had something to do with it, or at least he was on a song talking about it. So Dolph ends up signing Big Unk. Well, they think that might have had also some hand in them starting this assassination attempt up, you know, to get Dolph. Which, you know, Govan also had a daughter that was in the rap game, and she has a song with J Money, and she happened to get shot up down in Houston in traffic. I think it was like 2 masked men jumped out of a car and shot up the car. The driver made it, but his daughter didn't. Now, you know, Govan setting that whole thing up with CMG, who knows, you know what I'm saying? But these gangs on the streets too in the background are thinking, well, if Dolph signed Unk, then he must be siding on that side, right? And there's a lot of stuff in the streets, you know, going on between them two right then. So that could also had a big hand in it, but Jook putting up the money for it, apparently. But also, that being said, you know, before the trial started, Jook met his demise. So it's real easy to kind of put it on him also without anybody really being, you know, anybody being hurt by it. You know, they can all say, oh yeah, he was going da-da-da-da. But they do have also phone records of Straight Drop and dude just straight blowing up phones trying to get a hold of these guys to get paid, man, because they wanted to get paid. Well, right after the assassination, while Straight Drop's on the run, he puts out a music video, and he's got racks of cash. He's all dressed up nice, getting in the, you know, Sprinter vans and shit, and he's got like the PRE hanging off his chain. They were saying that might be like a little, you know, because he was also alluding to the fact in the music that he was fresh off of, you know, an assassination. So yeah, it's really unfortunate story, man. You know, Dolph was, you know, came out, you know, I mean, as independently as a rapper could. CMG tried to sign him a bunch of times, and there was many attempts on his life. Like, they said it was, you know, him and Yo Gotti beefing back and forth. Black Youngster and all them definitely didn't like Dolph. You know, he was supposed to go to a show that nobody, I mean, it was supposed to be like a preemptive show. He was just going to show up at this after party, and he ended up getting his car shot up. Luckily, it was bulletproofed, you know what I mean? It was an armored vehicle, so they ended up shooting it up, and that's what came about the 100 shots. He said, you know, how you shoot a whole 100 shots and not hit nobody? And then he brought out the album, 100 shots, and then put down, you know, another album, Bulletproof, You know what I mean? So he was definitely taunting them. He came out of the hotel, got shot one time, and then he was in the hospital after that.
Now wants to talk with rapper Yo Gotti following a shooting in front of Lowe's Hotel in Hollywood.
The individual you've mentioned has been possibly identified as being involved in what took place earlier. To what degree, we have no idea at this point.
100 shots.
Another rapper, young Dolph, in critical condition, shot several times in the body, and police say they have hotel security video they're now looking over.
And both of those shootings, you know, supposedly, allegedly may have been involved by, you know, look, you can put the pieces together. He's writing songs saying, play with your bitch, don't play with me, play with your bitch. So he's basically on that song saying that, you know, he got his old lady and ex-old lady or whatever, his baby mama, and Joke was a bitch. So, you know, that alone right there probably caused some tension, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it's just a wild story, man. And unfortunately, Dolph lost his life way too young, put out a lot of great music. And, you know, I was a big fan. So to see all this stuff go down and to hear everything from behind the scenes, and then one of the shooters to come out and just basically lay out exactly what happened and how it happened. Now, I don't know if everything he said was true. When they were talking about wiping down the car, it was kind of funny, like how he didn't want to tell the truth about that for some reason. Like, basically, it seemed like, anyway. There was a couple things that was kind of weird. And, you know, a lot of the stuff, too, like if they end up, I don't know if they have RICO charges or if they're going to bring RICO charges against anybody or anything like that. But they have a lot of, you know, Gotti's always in trouble back and forth. And for them to bring up, you know, all kinds of names and stuff together like that, I guess that's probably why they didn't, you know. But thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank y'all for watching, and long live Dolph. Rest in peace. Really unfortunate, man. Dude was a really talented guy, came out the mud. I mean, his parents, you know, supposedly were on drugs, and he was raised by his grandmother. He brought his own self up out of it by his own damn bootstraps and made a whole lot of money and set up his family. And, you know, Key Glock's still out there. PRE's still out there. So, and the best way to support him is probably just to listen to his music, y'all. So, if you got Spotify or YouTube or whatever you got, you listen to music on, listen to the man's music. That's the best way to support his family now, you know. So, all right, y'all. Bicycle.